Let me explain this with an example. Suppose if we guys have made a plan, then let's just go to Ladakh region. What are the basic things that you'll be doing? What are the preliminary things that you'll be doing? Let's go to Ladakh. What are the basic things? Yes. First of all, you'll say, sir, what are the resources required? Right? Resources. Not just that, you will look about, sir, what are the weather conditions out there in Ladakh, and accordingly you pack your bags and everything. Weather conditions out there. Followed by, sir, what will you do once you reach Ladakh? Just stay in the hotel and chill down? So you will be looking at which are the important places around Ladakh which can be experienced. In other words, you will be doing the analysis of the destination where you want to go, sir. Now, if I ask you in simple terms, where you want to go, sir? Where you want to go? UPSC. So don't you think these are the basic steps that needs to be done? कि UPSC को basically चाहिए क्या? कैसे पता चलेगा? So first thing that needs to be done is going through the syllabus. Here, let me emphasize on this part. Syllabus को सिर्फ पढ़ना नहीं है. So you need not have to just read the syllabus, but you have to thorough the syllabus. There's a difference between reading and thorough. You have to thorough the syllabus. Like everyone knows which is the newspaper that needs to be followed for current affairs. The Hindu or the Indian Express. If I give you this paper and tell you, sir, take out the topics which are important from UPSC prelims or means point of view, would you be able to do that effectively? Probably no. Reason? We don't know whether that particular topic is there in the syllabus or not. So, syllabus, thoroughing the syllabus will give you that vision to identify what is important and what is not. So, first thing first, reading the syllabus or thoroughing the syllabus? Thoroughing the syllabus. Second, sir, we know that, like I told you, sir, environment ecology is an important part of geography or other UPSC prelims. We know that this part is there in prelims, but what type of questions are asked? That also needs to be figured out effectively. So second step that needs to be done is, sir, समझ में आ गया कि ये subject है UPSC के लिए, ये topic है, but किस type के questions आते हैं? That needs to be analyzed. For that, we need to analyze previous year's question paper. You have to analyze the previous year question paper so that you understand the trend, what kind of questions are asked. Understood? And that will channelize your efforts into this direction of UPSC. All right. So what are the two preliminary steps that needs to be done? First is thoroughing or reading the syllabus. Thoroughing the syllabus. Secondly, analyzing the previous year's question paper. All right. The moment we make up our mind that we need to do or we need to prepare for UPSC, the first thing that we'll be doing is start collecting books. And we make a huge heap of books at our place. We need to turn ourselves into a librarian. No, basically remember this, it is always advisable to restrict your resources. It is advisable to read one book 10 times than to read 10 books one time. So the third thing, resource mapping, very important. Which are the basic resources that one should start with? Sir, ऐसे कैसे मैंने तो engineering करी है, मैं 6th standard का book कैसे पढ़ सकता हूँ? It's not like that. You have to make your foundation strong. You should start always from NCERTs. Getting it? So these are the three basic things that needs to be done before you jump out into this field of UPSC. Getting it? And that gets applicable to each and every subject that you come across. Getting it? So what are the three basic things? See why I'm emphasizing more on that? Because end तक बच्चों को यही समझ में नहीं आता कि ये topic UPSC prelims के लिए, mains के लिए, which subject में आता है, नहीं पता चलता है. आई बात समझ में? So very important point: analyzing or thoroughing the syllabus, analyzing the previous year question paper, and third is resource mapping. Got it? So three things. All right. Now we'll be applying the same thing to our subject as well, that is environment ecology. I'll just give you a brief idea or rationale behind why this particular subject has been added. That every subject that has been added into the curriculum of UPSC has some meaning to it, has some logic or rationale behind it. Now tell me, environment ecology, why there is a need for an UPSC civil service aspirant to study what is going on in the environment and ecology? Why it is so important? Why it is important to study environment around us? What is the role of a collector? Collector ही बनना है ना सब लोग. What is the role of a collector? What is the role of IAS officer? Simply, क्या करना है आपको? District को development of the district, yes or no? यही तो काम है, बेसिक चीज. और उसके लिए जो बन पड़े हम करेंगे. डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट, मतलब your district will have so many issues. One such issue will be directly associated with the environment and ecology. When you will be able to address those issues more effectively, कब problem solve कर सकते हो, जब आपको problem क्या है वो पता होना चाहिए. In other words, this subject will help you understand what the problems are, and when you can find effective solution when you know the root cause of the problem. ये प्रॉब्लम भी समझाएगा, सोल्यूशन भी देगा, एंड दिस पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट विल मेक यू बेटर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर. आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड दिस. सो ये सब्जेक्ट को सिर्फ मार्क्स के हिसाब से नहीं पढ़ना, यू नीड टू स्टडी दिस सब्जेक्ट as a whole. You need to inculcate these values and subject into yourself so that it will be better for you to become a good administrator. I hope you understood this. Clear? So सिर्फ उसको मार्क्स के हिसाब से नहीं पढ़ना. So that's the rationale behind adding this environment ecology. You must have come across so many environmental issues in your day-to-day life. Give me some example for the same. Global warming, that's a big issue that currently the entire world is facing. Global warming. Okay, what else? Groundwater. What? Groundwater में दो चीजें होंगी, या तो डिप्लीशन होगा या तो पोल्यूशन. करेक्ट. Groundwater depletion followed by pollution. Today Mumbai is considered to be one of the polluted cities in the world. Pollution. What else? Deforestation. Very good. Ozone layer depletion. Yes, once it was a major problem, but now we have taken steps to restore it back to its original position. What else? Depletion of non-renewable resources. Correct, you can say that. So depletion of resources in general because of over exploitation. Yes or no? What else? So in other words, can I say this greenhouse gas emission plus global warming affects what is called as the climate, leading to climate change. So don't you think as of now, you do not have any single power to do anything for this? Yes or no? You can do it at the individual level, but can you take steps to address these issues at a larger level? This particular field will give you that power. Understood this? Clear? So these are the problems that your district must be facing. You, as a district collector, will have a job to address these issues effectively. Understood? Kaise? A subject. I hope you got it. So in this particular subject, we will be discussing all these issues in detail. All right. Got the rationale behind the subject? Very good. Now I'll tell you the importance of this subject as far as prelims and mains is concerned. If you talk about UPSC prelims right from 2013 to 2022, approximately 15 to 18 questions on an average are asked from environment ecology. आप पेपर उठा के देखो, हर बार कुछ ना कुछ environment related आपको मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. So on an average, 15 to 18 questions are generally asked from 2013 to 2022. In 2013, 2014 and 15, as good as 35 to 38 questions were asked. ठीक है? Environment ecology being a part of geography, फिर भी इतने questions पूछे गए. You know, there's a subject called as polity. How many chapters are there in polity? Any idea? 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay. 12 से 15 क्वेश्चन but still 18 to 20 questions are asked. So where the cost to benefit ratio is more, the environment ecology. You have to put in less efforts for maximum output. Understood? Making it one of the important sections as far as prelims is considered. And mind you, prelim means interview. क्या लगता है आपको? Which is the difficult tier? Prelims means an interview. Absolutely, it is prelims. The reason behind it is 90% of the students are filtered out from this stage of prelims. 4 to 5 lakh students give the exam. Only 15 to 20,000 students are allowed to give mains. Understood? So it is the biggest filter. Correct? So okay. So being that most important cell, now you understood the importance of the subject as well. Now, following the same logic, the first thing that we'll be looking at is the syllabus. The environment ecology to hai, lekin karna kya hai? Right? Let's just see that. Or before that, sir, ecology to hai. But now, what type of questions are asked? How many of you from science background? Non-science background are commerce, arts. Okay. All right. So the question goes this way: which of the following processes, which of the following processes releases carbon dioxide into atmosphere? So quite an easy question, general question. Which of the following processes releases carbon dioxide from the atmosphere? The options are photosynthesis, respiration, volcanic eruption, decay of organic matter. ठीक है, these are not the actual options. Options के नीचे ऐसा A, B, C, B, C, D, A, C, D, all of the above. That way, these are the options. You tell me, which are the processes that will release carbon dioxide into atmosphere? Will it be photosynthesis? सुना है photosynthesis undertaken by plants in which they take in carbon dioxide, give out. So if they're giving out oxygen, will they give carbon dioxide? No. So this process goes. What about respiration? Taking in oxygen, giving out. So will respiration be there? What about volcanic eruption? No. You know, with volcanic eruption, huge amount of gases have been released. The major component of these gases, along with water vapor, is carbon dioxide. It's carbon monoxide as well as carbon dioxide. Yes, it does release. Decay of organic matter. What do you mean by organic matter? आपने सुना होगा ना, organic fruits, organic vegetables. What do you mean by that? मतलब that fruits, that vegetables are produced without the use of artificial chemicals and fertilizers and pesticides, that have been produced with the help of manure that is derived from living organisms. So that manure derived from living organism, we call this as organic matter. Any matter that is derived from living organism, we call this as organic matter. Correct? Decay means what? Decay means decomposition. For example, organic matter is nothing but carbohydrate, fats and proteins, right? The carbohydrate, fats and protein होता क्या है? कुछ नहीं sir, it's a molecule consisting of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus and so on. So when I say decay means decomposition, ये composition से बना है sir. Decompose means it will separate out. Carbon has affinity for oxygen, it forms. That is the reason when you see that there is a dead cat or dead dog or dead animal anywhere out there, and if the body remains there for 1 or 2 days, it swells up. Reason, inside the carbohydrate, fats and protein gets decomposed, forming carbon dioxide, and that swells up the body completely. Understood this? Clear? So decay of organic matter, will it release carbon dioxide? Yes. So the answer is B, C and D. UPSC 2014 prelim question. Now you understood? Yeah. So these are the type of questions that are asked. All right. Let me go to a bit basic. What is respiration? Taking in, giving out carbon dioxide, right? Taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide. Correct? Question is, why? We take in oxygen or we take in air? सोच के बोलना. Are we taking in oxygen or we take in air? Sir, फर्क क्या है? Oxygen is nothing but a pure gas. Air is a mixture of all the gases, जिसमें nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide सब कुछ होता है. So we take in oxygen or we take in air? नाक में फिल्टर है? नहीं. We take in not oxygen, but we take in. So when we take in air, nitrogen भी जा रहा है, oxygen भी जा रहा है, carbon dioxide भी जा रहा है, argon भी जा रहा है, बहुत सारे gases are. But we utilize only, or we rather require only oxygen. Question is why? अच्छा लगता है? नहीं. Then why we utilize oxygen or only oxygen? फिर ऐसे तो कभी सोचा नहीं, हम तो बस सांस ही ले रहे हैं। लो सांस। यो व्हाई? सिंपल रीजन sir, if I have to pick this bottle, if I have to drink the water, I want some energy, right? यहाँ तक हाथ लेके जाना, इसको खोलना, पीना, I require some kind of energy. Energy comes from not oxygen. Energy comes from food that we eat. Food is nothing but what? Carbohydrates, fats, proteins. What is carbohydrate, fats, and proteins? Complex molecule consisting of all these elements: carbon, hai, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. But these molecules, carbohydrate, fats, and protein, are complex. These are complex molecules. हमारी बॉडी इससे एनर्जी यूटिलाइज नहीं कर सकती, तो किससे करेगी? So this carbohydrate, fats, and protein, which is complex, is converted into simple form. सुना होगा आपने. This is called as ATP. ATP. So this conversion from complex molecule into simple form, that is ATP, that can only be done with the help of ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. Understood this? That's the usable form of energy that every cell, every part of the body requires. I hope you got it. Understood? Cell में भी आपने ये सुना होगा, there is this part called as mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. That undertakes this particular conversion. I hope you understood this. Called as cellular respiration. In simple words, जो आप energy आपको चाहिए, that comes from carbohydrate, fats, and protein, but these are complex one that has to be broken down into simple one that can only be done with the help of oxygen. Your brain requires energy, your heart requires energy to pump. All these energy comes from ATP. That means it comes from oxygen. Without oxygen, we cannot survive even for a minute. I hope you got it. Samjha, why do we respire? Why do we only utilize oxygen? This is nothing but MPSC asked question 2015. Moral of the story, ज्यादा rocket science पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं, basic में question पूछते हैं. These are the basic things which we use, which we do, which we undertake every day. पर उसका logic क्या है नहीं पता. इसीलिए I tell all the students, when you enter into this field, always have this question in your mind: why, how? ये continuously पूछो. See what is going around. Do not accept it blindly. Ask yourself why, how. Understood this? Clear? Very good. So that was about respiration. Let's talk about photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process by which plants prepare their food. Photo means light, synthesis means production, right? Photosynthesis. This is a process in which plants take in carbon dioxide, gives out. This happens during the, what happens during the night time? Reverse, meaning it takes in oxygen, give out. Again the question, bolo fir. But the process gets reversed. Why the process gets reversed? सर उसकी मर्जी, उसको जो खाना है करना है, ऐसा नहीं है. Then see, photosynthesis के लिए क्या चाहिए? फोटो माने light. If there is no light, it will stop the process, right? हाँ, तो फूड नहीं बना सकते ना, अभी लाइट ही नहीं है. तो द क्वेश्चन इज, ठीक है, लाइट फूड नहीं बना सकते बिकॉज सनलाइट नहीं है, बट द प्रोसेस शुड गेट स्टॉप. व्हाई द प्रोसेस गेट्स रिवर्स? दैट्स द क्वेश्चन. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड खा रहा है ना, ऑक्सीजन दे रहा, अब लाइट नहीं है तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड खाते रहे, सुबह सनलाइट आएगा तो हम उससे खाना बना देंगे. व्हाई द प्रोसेस गेट्स रिवर्स? आई टेल यू द लॉजिक. द ट्री in during the daytime, it takes in carbon dioxide, gives out. Now we'll see, ask you the definition of photosynthesis. This is a process in which plants prepare their food. खाना बनाया is not equal to खाना खाना ना. अब वो खाना बनाया, उसको खाना खाना भी तो होगा. It needs to utilize that food which it has produced through photosynthesis. Food it has produced in the form of carbohydrate, fats and proteins, but that has to be broken down into simpler one. उसको भी क्या चाहिए? Oxygen. right? So it will also consume oxygen. But the question is, so सिर्फ रात को? नहीं. It also requires oxygen during the daytime. It consumes oxygen during the daytime. But during the daytime, because of photosynthesis, it gives out more oxygen than it consumes. So हमको क्या दिख रहा है? That it is only giving out oxygen and not consuming it. But in the background, it also consumes some oxygen. Understood? During the night time, what happens? This process stops. What is the process? It is only taking in oxygen. Understood? So कहना, moral of the story is plant take in oxygen throughout the day, but during the daytime, because of photosynthesis, it gives out more oxygen than it consumes. Understood? और ये है basic MPSC में पूछा है. I hope you heard it. Understood? So moral of the story: ask yourself always why. Do not accept things blindly. This is the job of CSA, Civil Services Aspirant. समझा है? You should know much more many things than the person walking on the road. Then there will be a difference. वरना उसमें और आप में फर्क नहीं रहेगा. And mind you, आप जिस चीज के लिए aim कर रहे हो, this is a very big thing. This will not just change your career, the entire life and your life, generations to come. Please remember this. Have you visited any collector's office? नहीं. Have you visited any SP's or DCP's office? नहीं. तो हमको पता ही नहीं ना for which exam basically we are preparing for. If at all, if you get a chance, कभी जाओ. पुलिस स्टेशन में नहीं, पुलिस स्टेशन में आपके नीचे के ऑफिसर्स बैठेंगे. Go to the office of commissioner, go to the office of DSP, DCP. इनके ऑफिस में से विजिट देके आओ. सर, आई एम प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर यूपीसी, आई जस्ट वांट टू नो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दिस फंक्शंस. At least he will have a guided tour. करते हैं भाई. अंडरस्टूड? क्लियर? तो आपको पता चलेगा आपको क्या चाहिए. अगर एक पुलिस वाले को भी देख लिया हम लोग ने, डर लगता है ना. मान के चलो ऐसे पुलिस वाले आपके 1000 पुलिस वाले आपके हाथ के नीचे. So what you are preparing for or aiming for is very very big. Why I'm telling you this? Because once you are aware कि basically हम इस चीज के लिए पढ़ रहे हैं, इतनी बड़ी चीज के लिए हम पढ़ रहे हैं, your efforts will become much more sincere and organic. Understood? This is not something like a graduation exam. Exam के 10 दिन पहले पढ़ो और clear करो. नहीं होने वाला है. You have to change your entire process. You have to study daily, on a daily basis. थोड़ा थोड़ा करना है, but daily करना है. Understood? Just one statement: if you want to be an officer, if you want to be an IS officer, behave, think like one. उसके जैसे सोचो, उसके जैसे behave करो. मान के चलो IS ऑफिसर बन गए, 12 बजे 1 बजे उठोगे, Netflix and chill? नहीं. Scrolling Instagram every now and then? No. Your timetable will be systematic. तो जब कभी करना ही है, अभी से शुरू करो. And mind you, clearing UPSC is not the end. It's just the start of a beginning. समझे आप? बहुत बड़ी चीज कर रहे हो. Clear? सोचो इस चीज को. And the second thing that I would like to highlight to you guys is, what are your graduation guys? BSc कर रहे हो? BA, BA and BCom, right? I'll give you practical situation that is going on. Sir, we know that after lockdown, companies have become much more smarter. Why? Because they know that even with just 50% of the employees, they can generate 100% of the profit. That means in future, unemployment rate is going to increase multiple folds. Understood? Today's condition is this, that engineers are working for 15 and 18,000 rupees starting salary. Maximum 20,000. मान के चलो सर 20 भी नहीं, मैं 30 पकड़ रहा हूँ. अगर 30,000 स्टार्टिंग सैलरी है, can I say it is equal to 1,000 rupees per day? That too you have to work for 9 hours with that punching and everything. 1,000 rupees per day for 8 hours. ये तो engineers की बात हो गई. I'm not demotivating, but this is the condition that is there outside. What about BSc? What about BCom? What about BA? If you do not have extra talent, think about yourself. Where you find yourself 1-2 years down the line. 15,000 पकड़े तो 500 रुपए पर डे. If I give you this 1,000 bucks, tell you जा खर्चा करके आओ, 5 मिनट में खत्म कर देना है सर अपने, 5 मिनट में. But to earn that, you have to work for 9 to 10 hours per day. So think from practical perspective as well. आप अभी मेहनत करो 2 साल, 3 साल. You think about it. Your friends will be roaming here and there in search of a 10-15,000 rupees job. You will be handling the entire district machinery. Think about it. Right? Answer Sheikh. सुना है नाम? He is the youngest IS officer in India. 21 age. 21 क्या age होती है सर? पता ही नहीं होता आधे लोगों को करना क्या है. इज वर्किंग एज असिस्टेंट डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर इन वेस्ट बंगाल. आई बात समझ में? स्टार्टेड हिज जर्नी राइट फ्रॉम वेयर यू हैव स्टार्टेड. Think, because if until and unless you don't think seriously about it, अंदर से अगर वो नहीं आएगा ना, your efforts will not be that organic. करना है, we are looking at the glamour side of it, and then we enroll ourselves into this कि चलो भाई उठ के करना है, and then realize नहीं काफी difficult, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Understood? So think 100 times before venturing into it, and once you have entered into it, भाई अभी तो मैं इधर से निकलूंगा पोस्ट लेके, that should be the attitude. I will go away from this field only by taking a post. That should be the attitude. And this syllabus is so huge and so advanced कि अगर कुछ नहीं तो भी इतना knowledge आपको देगा ना, you will do something better out of it. Absolutely better out of it. And this one exam will open the door for 10 to 15 different exams. You can give SSC CGL, you can give RBI, you can give IBPS, you can give railway examination, you can give MPSC, you can give PSI, SCI, and number of examinations. कहीं ना कहीं तो होगा. Any government job will give you that job security. Private companies में वैसा नहीं, आज आप काम करो कल नहीं करोगे फाइन. गवर्नमेंट जॉब में ज्यादा से ज्यादा ट्रांसफर. That's it. So it has its own perks and advantages, but आपको मेहनत करनी. समझा? Seriously. And don't you think कभी लगता नहीं कि सर when you're walking and seeing what is going around कि अगर मेरे पास कुछ पावर होता तो मैं करती, मैं ये ठीक करता, मैं ये ठीक करती. लगता है ना? यही वो फील्ड है जो आपको ये पावर दे, और कोई नहीं. Understood? Understand the root cause of problem that is going around you. कितनी भी बेसिक हो, take that as a hook, go for it. ये तो मैं चेंज करके रहूं, या अपने आप के हालत को देखो सर. Right? The way we are struggling, the way we are struggling for daily ends meet. So think from that perspective. Practically 5 साल बाद 6 साल बाद where do you find yourself? All right, competition is huge. Competition is huge, guys. आपका तो ग्रेजुएशन हो गया almost, if I assume. How many have completed the graduation? What about others? First year, second year? Second year. Think about it. People have started right from the 12th standard. They knew, they know that we need to at least invest 2 to 3 years of studies into this. So they are well ahead than you. ठीक है, better late than ever. आप अभी start किया है second year में, you have ample of time. Even if you invest 2 years into this religiously, by the end graduation खत्म कर रहे हो, इधर आपका just imagine, think from that perspective. आप आपका final result लेने के लिए गवर्नमेंट के लाल दिवे की गाड़ी में जाओगे, प्रिंसिपल आके रिसीव करेगा आपको. कैसा लगेगा? आज मुझसे ये बात करती नहीं, वो बात करता नहीं, ये करता नहीं, पीछे पड़ेंगे सर. Think from all perspective. This is a dream that you have to invest, that you have to nurture within yourself. तब जाके एफर्ट्स रहेंगे. अगर सपना देखोगे ही नहीं तो सपना पूरा करने का कैसे करें? Because the most important basic thing that is required to crack this exam is determination. सर बनना ही है. I want to be an officer at any cost. Mindset. Understanding this? बचेंद्री पाल सुना है नाम? She conquered Mount Everest. आई बात समझ में? सुनीता विलियम्स. डिटर्मिनेशन. सर माउंट एवरेस्ट कॉन्कर करना बड़ी बात नहीं है क्या? प्रैक्टिस और चलना ही है. But 50% or 60% job is done when you think with that determination कि नहीं भाई चढ़ना ही. वो सोचना ही itself is a big challenge कि नहीं भाई मेरे को चढ़ना ही. बाकी क्या? बाकी तो प्रैक्टिस ही है. Understood? So आपको first you need to be determined enough that I need to conquer this exam. Once that determination is done, 20-30% job is done. अब क्या करना है? चलो उसको क्या बुक चाहिए, पढ़ाई शुरू करते हैं. Getting it? So think about it very, very seriously. This is the time when you can think about it. Graduation खत्म हो जाने दो, pressure builds. It will start building up. Other friends will be joining job. I'm sure looking at you, 10th तक हम कभी फेल नहीं हुए, right? 11, 12 तक भी नहीं हुए होंगे. 12 के बाद जैसे कॉलेज में 80-80. Not all, but किसी किसी को तो लगी होगी. Why? Because no one care about you in college, whether you attend the lecture, when you don't attend the lecture, आपको समझा है नहीं समझा, ऐसी आगे चल के लाइफ होने वाली. Understood? So with determination, secondly, is required to clear this exam is discipline. स्कूल में फेल नहीं होते बिकॉज वी फॉलो अ डिसिप्लिन कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट, जो कॉलेज में आके भूल जाते हैं. डिसिप्लिन, डिसिप्लिन योरसेल्फ टू सच एन एक्सटेंट कि अगर मेरे को करना ही है, डेफिनेटली मेरा जो गिवन टास्क है इन अ डे, दैट नीड्स टू बी कंप्लीट. क्लियर? 2 साल है, जिनके पास 3 साल है, यू हैव एम्पल ऑफ टाइम. इन्वेस्ट जस्ट 2 to 3 hours daily. That's it. Just 2 to 3 hours daily. You won't realize how many hours you have invested within that 1 or 2 years. Right? कहावत है ना, बूंद बूंद से सागर, वो करना है, बूंद बूंद जमा करने से. And in the end, you will find out a vast ocean of knowledge that you have already conquered. Understood? Clear? So, discipline. जैसे मैंने कहा सर, this particular exam is not just like your graduation exam. You have to study daily. Determination. सर मेरे को तो पढ़ना ही है सर. I'm determined enough. Discipline भी है. But सर एक दिन पढ़ूंगा, 10 दिन नहीं पढ़ूंगा. चलेगा? No. आपके दिमाग में 24/7 यही चलना चाहिए. You need the third D, that is dedication. Dedication. I'm not saying you to leave all your extracurricular activities, don't hang up with your friends, don't go for social media, do it, but limit it, manage it. Because time management is something which no other person can teach you, because it's your time, it's you how you will invest that particular time. So you know your time better. Time management सीखना हो. भाई बात समझ में? साथ पूरा दिन हम लोग बस स्क्रॉल करते करते उंगलियां दर्द करती, फिर भी हम स्क्रॉल करते रहते हैं. उतना नहीं करना है सर. 1 घंटा दे दो, इस 1 घंटे में को जो करना है. Next 1 hour I'll be dedicating to NCRTs, to UPSC. Do a proper timetable. Follow that. Understood? And mind you, this exam is not just about IQ. The most important thing is mental as well as physical well-being. Personality भी होनी चाहिए कि नहीं होनी चाहिए? Definitely. Understood? आपको इंटरव्यू का कॉल आ जाता है इन द मंथ ऑफ जनवरी, फरवरी, मार्च तक आपका इंटरव्यू खत्म हो जाता है. बाय द एंड ऑफ जुलाई अगस्त आपको बुलावा आया जाता है. किधर से? लबासना, दैट इज मसूरी, ट्रेनिंग के लिए. अंडरस्टूड? वहां पे टेम्परेचर समटाइम्स गोज इनटू माइनस, फिर भी ट्रेनिंग करनी पड़ती है. बस इधर एसी का 20-25 भी हमको सहन नहीं होता, वहां पे माइनस में कैसे करेंगे, मुझे नहीं करना पड़ता. दैट्स द ट्रेनिंग दैट इज. अंडरस्टूड? मोरल ऑफ द स्टोरी, फिजिकल वेलबींग, फिजिकली फिट अगर होगे तो मेंटली फिट होंगे, मेंटली फिट होगे तो डेफिनेटली आपका पढ़ाई बहुत अच्छे से होगा. गेटिंग प्रॉपर स्लीप 8 hours a day, दैट इज ऑल्सो नेसेसरी. 3 बजे हम सो रहे हैं, बाद में 6 बजे वापस उठ के कॉलेज जा रहे हैं, नो, दिस विल हैम्पर योर हेल्थ इन द लॉन्ग रन. एब्सोल्युटली. अंडरस्टूड? सोशल मीडिया, इट इज अ boon as well as it's a curse. क्लियर? एक वीडियो देखो, दूसरा वीडियो, इतना सजेशन आते हैं घूम फिर के, बाद में पता ही नहीं चलता 2.5 घंटे 3 घंटे कहाँ चले गए. इट हैपेंस विद एवरीवन, बट वी नीड टू रिस्ट्रिक्ट इट. Got my point? So let's just recap. What are the 3 things that I told you to start with preparation for any particular subject? Thoroughing the syllabus, analyzing the previous year question paper, and third, resource mapping, finding out resources. All right. Then I told you what are the issues or what is the rationale behind environment ecology getting added into the curriculum of UPSC, what type of questions are asked, and how deep we need to venture out into a particular topic. Basic याद करना है. And next one, yes, the 3 Ds: determination, dedication, and discipline. ये 3 होना चाहिए. Inculcate these values. अब करोगे शुरू, तब जाके वो डेवलप होगा. और पॉइंट सर कभी पढ़ना है? 2 साल बाद एग्जाम देना है ना, तो मैं 2 साल बाद ये सारी चीजों पे ध्यान दूं? नहीं. हैबिट डज नॉट गेट डेवलप इन 1 day. इट नीड्स टू बी इनकलकेटेड. और आपको पता है, इंटरव्यू में जाओ, मेंस में जाओ, उसके पहले आपको एक डिटेल्ड एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म भर के देना पड़ता है. उसमें आपका हॉबी भी मेंशन करना पड़ता है. सर मैं कुछ भी लिख दूं? कुछ भी नहीं लिख सकते, क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं सर. अंडरस्टूड? आई लव गार्डनिंग करके दिखाओ, ऐसे भी क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है. डू ग्राफ्टिंग एंड शो मी. So develop your hobbies. If you don't know yourself, how will you know the district? खुद को तो जानो पहले. आई बात समझ में? क्लियर? सो डेवलप दैट हॉबीज, डेवलप दैट पार्ट ऑफ यू, डेवलप एनालिटिकल माइंड अबाउट यू. ये सारी चीजें तब डेवलप होगी when you are much more focused about it. Understood? So which are the three D's that needs to be inculcated? Determination and dedication. Got it? Now we'll coming back to our topic, environment ecology. Now we'll discuss what are the topics that needs to be dealt with as far as environment ecology is concerned. ठीक है? Syllabus. क्या क्या देखना है हमको environment से? First, don't write, don't write. I'll give you time to write because when I write, while you write, while I teach, 50% of the attention goes in writing. Introduction, where we'll be introducing ourselves to this particular topic, what is environment, what is ecology, what are the levels and so on, followed by, heard of this term? Ecosystem and what are its functions. Very, very easy. These are some of the topics which overlaps with the things that we have already studied during our school times. Ecosystem and its functions, followed by aquatic ecosystem. All right, then you must have heard of this very, very common word. If you read newspaper, yeah, आता ही होगा, biodiversity. All right. Red data book. So ये क्या होता है red data book? Nothing but it's a book which consists of data of red color. Red is a sign of danger. So it will consist of those particular species which are under threat, which are endangered. All right. Then we'll study something called as protected area network. Now what is that, sir? Heard of this? Wildlife sanctuary, national parks, tiger reserves. So all these things will be studied under this part. Okay, what are the difference? What are their implications and so on? Followed by. So what are the actual efforts taken up by the government to conserve certain species? We'll study under this topic conservation efforts. Just to give you an example, which is the national animal of India? With no doubt, peacock, animal, tiger. So that's the national animal of India. But you know the population of tigers were declining so rapidly that government has to intervene, and they came up with a project called as Project Tiger. So that's the effort taken up by the government to restore its population. All right, conservation efforts. Then, absolutely, what is global warming? What are greenhouse gases? What is greenhouse effect, and so on. And you all know ozone depletion. The global warming is something which is inevitable. ये तो हो ही रहा है ना, उसके इफेक्ट हम देख ही रहे, क्लाइमेट चेंज एंड ऑल. बट सर द वे एट विच वी आर एक्सप्लॉइटिंग द नेचर इज ड्रास्टिक. मतलब अगर इसी स्पीड से हम आगे चले गए तो विद इन द नेक्स्ट 70 to 80 years or probably 100 years, majority of the coastal cities will be submerged under water. Cities like New York, Tokyo, Dhaka, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai have already, London have already been issued red warnings. So within the next 80 to 100 years, probably Marine Drive देखे हो? Very good. अब Marine Drive किधर आएगा? ये नेरुल वगैरह में आएगा, वो सारा पानी में चला जाएगा. This might happen the way in which we are going at. Understood this? So global warming तो हो रहा है, उससे climate change तो होगा ही होगा. But sir, can we do something about it? Can we reverse this problem? नहीं, इसको रिवर्स तो नहीं किया जाएगा, but at least what we can do is we can take some immediate steps to delay the effects of global warming. ये हो रहा है ना 80 साल बाद, 100 साल बाद, इसको स्टेप्स लेके 150-200 साल तक खींच सकते हैं सर. In other words, what strategies needs to be implemented to reduce the effect of global warming, to delay the effect of global warming? Delay या reduce को बोलते हैं mitigation. इसीलिए these strategies are called as mitigation strategies. What do you mean by mitigation strategies? The strategies that needs to be implemented to reduce or delay the effects of global warming. Got it? Last but not the least, so there are only Indian government that is running behind and taking steps to conserve environment. There will be international organization as well. international organization, international conventions, and what are the outcomes of it? Matlab international protocols. So we'll be studying under this topic, and these are the most important topics of environment ecology that you got to study. You understood this? Clear? Now have a look once. Introduction, ecosystem and its functions, aquatic ecosystem, biodiversity, red data book, protected area network, conservation efforts, global warming, ozone depletion, mitigation strategies, and international organization conventions and protocols. Now, if I give you Hindu newspaper and if there is an article relating to any species, किसी species का photo वगैरह दिख गया आपको, would you pay attention to that? Yes or no? Yes. Why? We have it in red data book. Any article relating to biodiversity, any article relating to any national park or tiger reserve, yes. Any article relating to global warming, any article relating to international organization or convention that is working for the environment, would you pay attention to that? Yes or no? Would you mark it? Yes. Would you take a note of it? Yes. This is what is I'm talking about. Once you know the syllabus, that will help you channelize your efforts. That will help you understand what is to be taken, what is to be omitted. Understood? Needs to be followed for each and every subject, not just environment ecology, but for every subject out there. Got it? समझा इतना? Take this down. We'll start with introduction. Done? Let's start with the first part, the introduction. Now, what is ecology? Ecology. Logy means study of. Logy means the study of. Study of what? Eco is derived from the Greek term oikos, meaning home of living organisms. Home of living organism. Now please pay attention. अब यहाँ पे दो चीजें हैं. What is that? Living organism and its home meaning. Literal sense, it means the environment. So ecology is defined as the scientific study of the relationship between an organism and its environment. How an organism interact with its environment, the study of which is called as ecology. For example, if I take a freshwater fish and put it into saline water, will it survive? No. It will change, it will suffocate, it will die. In other words, how an organism interact with its environment, the study of which is called as ecology. So how do you define ecology? It is defined as scientific study of the relationship between an organism and its environment. Organism and its environment. तो यहाँ पे तीन important keywords हैं. What is that? Organism, interaction, environment. Organism, interaction, environment. I hope everyone understood. Once again, everyone, what is ecology? The scientific study of the relationship between organism and its environment. Okay, three important keywords: organism, interaction, environment. Okay, but what is environment? What is environment? In other words, surrounding to that organism. Can I say everything that surrounds the organism? Everything that surrounds an organism becomes its environment. Yes or no? सब कुछ. But what that everything includes? Absolutely everything में living thing भी आएगा, non-living. What is surrounding around you? Living things also, non-living things also. Living things we call this as biotic factors. So non-living को मैं क्या बोलूँ? Abiotic factors. Can you give me example of abiotic factors? Water, air, land, soil, etc. Living biotic factors, plants, animals, microorganisms, insects, etc. All right. So that is your environment. But the question is, has environment have any kind of influence on the organism? क्या environment का असर कोई organism पे होता है? Absolutely yes. Suppose the clothes that we are wearing now, if we go to polar regions, can we survive? No. What will happen? We'll start to shiver. We might suffer from hypothermia, जिसमें temperature काफी कम हो जाता है body का, and we might even die because of the influence of the environment. Other example, a dog in Nerul and dog in Kashmir region. What is the basic difference that you see? Yes, the dog in the colder region have more fur. यहाँ पे fur बहुत कम होता है, क्यों? To avoid the loss of heat from the body. इसीलिए fur ज्यादा होता है. So can I say environment has influenced the dog and the dog has produced genetic changes so that it will grow more fur? Yes or no? So has environment have any kind of effect on the organism? Definitely yes. So what we say that environment can be defined as the sum total of किसका? बायोटिक फैक्टर्स का, अबायोटिक फैक्टर्स का, उनका इन्फ्लुएंसेस एंड उससे होने वाले इवेंट्स. सो ग्रोइंग फॉर, फॉलिंग इल, डेथ आर द इवेंट्स कॉज्ड बिकॉज ऑफ द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ द एनवायरमेंट. आई बात समझे? हम शिवर करेंगे, मर जाएंगे, ये क्या है? ये इवेंट्स है. किसकी वजह से? एनवायरमेंट के इन्फ्लुएंस की वजह से. सो एनवायरमेंट कैन आल्सो बी डिफाइंड एज सम टोटल ऑफ biotic factors, abiotic factors, their influences and events. Understood? Clear? Once again, what is ecology? Scientific study of the relationship between an organism and its environment. Three important keywords: interaction, environment. What is environment? Everything that surrounds the organism becomes its environment. Everything includes both biotic and abiotic factors. In other words, environment can be defined as sum total of biotic and abiotic factors their influences and events. Correct? लिख सकते हो? Start with it. Ecology. First part, introduction. Rather than first, ecology. Ecology. Right on. It is defined as scientific study of the relationship scientific study of the relationship between an organism scientific study of the relationship between an organism and its environment. Scientific study of the relationship between an organism and its environment. That is, write down these three keywords, put it in a box. Organism, interaction, environment. Organism dash interaction dash environment. Box it up. All right, next, environment. Put a dash right up. Everything that surrounds an organism, everything that surrounds an organism, everything that surrounds an organism is its environment. Everything that surrounds an organism is its environment. Everything that surrounds an organism is its environment. उसका environment है. ठीक है? Now what we'll be doing? Underline everything the same way that we have written. Everything includes living, non-living, that is biotic or biotic factors. Biotic or biotic factors, living, non-living factors. If you want, you write down. अगर पता है तो ठीक है. If you want, write down some examples also. Biotic में क्या आएंगे? Plants, animals, microorganisms. Non-living, land, air, soil, etc. Below that, in other words, environment can be defined as. In other words, environment can be defined as. क्या? Sum total of what? Biotic and abiotic factors. Biotic and abiotic factors, comma, their influences and events. Their influences and events. All right, that is, नीचे ऐसे लिखोगे, environment is equal to biotic plus abiotic plus influences plus events. Put it in the box. Done? All right. Now let's just see what are the different levels of ecological organization, or in other words, how the ecology is organized in nature. Levels of ecological organization. First, pay attention. We start with individual. Are we an individual? अरे आप इंडिविजुअल है कि नहीं है? वी आर एन इंडिविजुअल ऑफ अ स्पीशीज. व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ आवर स्पीशीज? होमो सेपियंस. अच्छा, होमो सेपियंस. सही है, सही है. और लेट मी रिफ्रेम, सही लिखा है. आई गिव यू फोर ऑप्शंस. What's one? Absolutely wrong. ये क्या पूछ रहे हो सर? कुछ नहीं. एमपीएससी 2018 प्रीलिम क्वेश्चन. आई बात समझ में? अब इतना बेसिक क्वेश्चन इसमें भी लोगों ने रॉन्ग किया. प्लीज रिमेंबर, एच शुड ऑलवेज बी कैपिटल, एस शुड ऑलवेज बी स्मॉल. होमो सेपियंस. अंडरस्टूड? सो वी आर एन इंडिविजुअल ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर स्पीशीज, होमो सेपियन. मैं कैसे मान लूं? नहीं, मैं कैसे मान लूं? आर वी लिविंग? आर यू लिविंग? जिंदा हो ना? कैसे? नहीं, मैं मान कैसे लूं, बताओ मुझे. Let me ask you, how or what are the factors that distinguishes a living thing from a non-living thing? We say we are living. कैसे? We are moving. ये देखो, ये भी मूव कर गया. अब भी सेल्फ डालू, पहिए लगा, अपने आप मूव करेगा सर. We are moving, we are inhaling, we are exhaling, we are excreting. In other words, we are carrying out metabolism. All those activities that defines wedding living, we call those as metabolism. और क्या फैक्टर है जो बताएंगे हम जिंदा है? तो देखो ना, आज ही पोस्ट डाला सुबह में फेसबुक पे, मैं जिंदा हूं. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. फैक्टर्स. हाँ, कॉग्निटिव, लाइक थिंकिंग, सोशल. तो अगर वो मेटाबॉलिज्म में आ गया. एवरीथिंग दैट डिफाइंस लिविंग. व्हाट एल्स? सर हमने ये जो बोर्ड लाया था ना, ये डिजिटल, ये इतना सा था सर. ये देखो कितना बड़ा हो गया. पॉसिबल? दैट इज ओनली पॉसिबल विद लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. इन अदर वर्ड्स, ग्रोथ. व्हाट एल्स? सर ये बोर्ड लाया था, काफी बड़ा हो गया. अभी थोड़े दिनों बाद ये दो बोर्ड और देगा. पॉसिबल? एब्सोल्युटली. रिप्रोडक्शन. सर तवा गर्म है, आराम से हाथ निकालेंगे 2 दिन बाद? नहीं, जैसी गर्म लगा निकाल लेंगे. दैट इज ओनली पॉसिबल विद लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. मच्छर है, मारो उधर घूमेगा. मीनिंग रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस टू स्टिमुलाई. आई बात समझ में? So these are the factors that distinguishes a living thing from a non-living thing. अगर इसमें से आप कोई भी परफॉर्म कर रहे हो, मतलब आप क्या कर रहे हो? जिंदा हो. You are living. You understood this? So that means we are carrying these functions out. That is the reason we are an individual of a particular species. जिस दिन ये रुक जाएगा, आप रुक जाओगे, इंडिविजुअल खत्म. I hope you understood this. इस दुनिया में दो चीजें हैं. एक लिविंग थिंग है, दूसरा है, बीच में कोई है क्या? विच इज लिविंग, विच इज नॉन लिविंग. सर ये क्या बात होगी? लिविंग भी है, यस इट इज नॉन लिविंग, बट ये लिविंग भी हो सकता है. प्लांट जिंदा है, टोटल जिंदा है. वो खाली मूव नहीं करते, बाकी सब करते. इज देयर एनीथिंग? नहीं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. ऐसा आप सोचोगे तो वो गलत है. क्या है? वी हैव लिविंग थिंग, वी हैव नॉन लिविंग थिंग. बीच में जो बैठता है, वन कैटेगरी ऑफ स्पीशीज, वी कॉल दिस. वायरस इज लिविंग, वायरस इज नॉन लिविंग एट द सेम टाइम. आई बात समझ में? अब ये सब समझ लो कि ये एक बोतल है, ये बहुत सालों से ऐसी पड़ी है, तो इसमें बहुत सारे वायरस होंगे सर, जो दिखाई नहीं देते, बट डेड है सर. द मोमेंट आप इसको, इस पानी को पी लोगे या बोतल के इसमें से खा लोगे, पी लोगे, तो दैट वायरस एंटर्स इनटू आवर बॉडी. and it gets activated with our living material. Understood? So a virus requires host. Host माने it requires living organism. तभी ये active हो जाता है. कई बात समझ में? So what is the connecting link between living thing and non-living thing? Bacteria, fungus, virus, none of the above. Virus. MPSC 2020 prelim question. आई बात समझ में? Clear everyone? Very good. समझे? ऐसा है. So individual. How do you define an individual? An individual is defined as living or non-living. A living organism that has the ability to act or to carry out these functions dependently or independently. No, I'm not talking in terms of monetary. Grow करने के लिए किसी और को से पैर खींचते घर जाके बड़े नहीं. Do you want someone else to pump your blood? Do you want someone else to think? No, you can do or carry out these functions independently. Functions independent. So you become an individual of a particular species. All right. Once again, how do you define an individual? A living organism that has the ability to act or function. Example: plants, animals, microbes, humans, etc. समझा है? All right. What is the connecting link between living thing and a non-living thing? Absolutely, guys. Very good. But does that individual live alone? Do we live alone? अकेले रहते हम? नहीं. We live with community के साथ रहते हो. Family. अब family में कौन है? Same species या different species? Different species. Though our siblings behave like other species, but they belong to humans. Remember this. Yes. So second, we live with same species. That becomes your group, or we call this as population. So how do you define group of population? It is defined as number of individuals of the same species living together becomes your group of population. Got it? Clear? अच्छा. अब suppose if there is an area A, यहाँ पे एक area है A. What will increase the population of this area? When the population of this area A will increase? और नवी मुंबई में population कब बढ़ेगा? लोग बढ़ेंगे तो. अब लोग बढ़ेंगे तो क्या होगा? Birth rate बढ़ेगा ना सर? When the birth rate is high, population has to be higher. Or people of different region coming to Navi Mumbai settling down, so obviously Navi Mumbai का population बढ़ेगा sir. Yes or no? So the two factors that increases the population are birth rate and this type of migration is called as immigration. It is called as immigration. Now, there is an area B. What will decrease the population of this area B? When the death rate is higher, or यहाँ पे लोग दूसरी जगह जाएंगे तो यहाँ पे population कम हो जाएगा. This is also migration. So this migration in which population of that region is moving out to different regions, reducing its population, that is called as emigration. Emigration. I hope you understood the difference between immigration and emigration. That is the reason when you leave your country and go to another country, so अपने country में जो होता है, that is your emigration check. When you land onto the different airport, वहाँ पे आपको करना पड़ता है immigration check. I hope you understood. So the two factors that increases the population are birth rate. What will decrease the population? Death rate and immigration. All right. But do you only find humans on this planet? No, we live with other species. We live with plants. We live with animals. अभी हाथ पे देखो लाखों करोड़ों microorganism स्किन के ऊपर होंगे सर. Yes, we do. In other words, we live with same species, different species. That becomes your community. Understood? देखो group population explain करने के लिए we utilize individual. ये explain करने के लिए we utilize group of population. Group of population of same species, different species. Living together becomes your community. For example अगर मैं बात करूं, take the example of grassland. Absolutely, very good. The grassland. When grassland comes into your mind, क्या सामने आता है? Only grasses? कुछ ना कुछ scattered trees होंगे ना यहाँ वहाँ, animals होंगे, plants होंगे. Living together becomes your grassland community. Don't get confused. Community में दो चीजें होती है, हिंदू, मुस्लिम, सिख. ये religious community हो गए, वो community अलग. Here we are talking about species community. Plants, animal, microorganism, different species living together. That becomes your different community. Okay. क्या बोल रही हो वैसे? All right. So that becomes your community. So once again, what are the levels? अभी तक देखा हमने individual, group of population and community. How do you define individual? Independently. Example: plants, animals, microorganisms, etc. Group of population living together. ठीक है? The two factors that increases the population are decrease are community. Group of population of living together becomes your community. So grassland becomes your community. Okay. Grassland you'll only find in India? No, you'll find it throughout the world. और जहां जहां पे मिलेगा, will it have the same weather conditions or different weather conditions? So every grassland has its own different environment or weather conditions. So can I say that grassland, that means that community is present in a different kind of environment? ग्रासलैंड इंडिया में हो तो उसका एनवायरनमेंट अलग, ग्रासलैंड अमेरिका में हो तो उसका एनवायरनमेंट अलग, ग्रासलैंड अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया में है तो उसका एनवायरनमेंट अलग. So every community, every grassland has its own environment, and that together becomes your अपना अपना सिस्टम है, इकोसिस्टम. अंडरस्टूड? इंडिया का ग्रासलैंड एक अलग तरह का होगा, अलग टेम्परेचर का होगा, तो उसका एक सिस्टम अलग. यूएसए का अलग, ऑस्ट्रेलिया का अलग. इकोसिस्टम है ग्रासलैंड, हैविंग वेरिएशन इन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर बिकॉज ऑफ द वेदर कंडीशंस. क्लियर? अंडरस्टूड? ओके. अब ग्रासलैंड इंडिया में भी है, अफ्रीका में भी है, बट हमारे पास जिराफ मिलता है क्या? नहीं. अफ्रीका में मिलेगा? डेफिनेटली यस. Understood? So every community, every grassland will have its own environment. Together becomes your ecosystem. Followed by fifth one, biomes and biosphere. तो देखो हमने 6 पढ़े हैं, 6 लेवल्स हैं. This is called as bottom to top approach. हमने 3 डिटेल में पढ़े हैं. We'll write that and then we will discuss the remaining 3 in detail. आपको लिखना कैसे? Levels of ecological organization, you give the heading. First, you will just list it down. Which are the different levels of ecological organization? Individual, group of population, community, ecosystem, biomes and biosphere. ठीक है, ये लिस्ट करने के बाद ये तीनों का डेफिनेशन, पहले इसका डेफिनेशन एज इट इज विद एग्जांपल, सेकंड वाले का डेफिनेशन, और ये 2 पॉइंट. The two factors that increases the population are birth rate and immigration, decrease the death rate and immigration. फिर कम्युनिटी का डेफिनेशन, एग्जांपल ग्रासलैंड. फिर इकोसिस्टम, बायोम्स एंड बायोस्फीयर हम डिटेल में देखेंगे. ये तो हमने शॉर्ट में समझा है, डिटेल में देखेंगे. आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड दिस. सो पहले लिस्ट करना है, फिर पहले 3 का डेफिनेशन लिखना है. प्लीज चेक इट डाउन. अंडरस्टूड एवरीवन? Done. Then simply stating, what is ecosystem? Community plus the. Chalo. Ecosystem. Simply stating, community plus the environment. Technically, ecosystem is defined as it is defined as structural and functional unit of biosphere consisting of different communities of living beings and their physical environment, both interacting and exchanging materials between them. समझा? हाँ बोलते हो क्या समझा? Let's see this. We'll discuss this one by one. Structural and functional unit of biosphere. पहले तो बताओ स्ट्रक्चरल एंड फंक्शनल यूनिट का मतलब क्या होता है. स्ट्रक्चरल एंड फंक्शनल यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ क्या है? सेल. It is because cell structure is different, the entire organism is different. Take the example humans and dog. Same cell hai. It is because cells are different. That is the reason the entire structure and the entire organism is different. Because group of cell becomes your group of cell को क्या बोलते हैं? Tissue. Group of tissue becomes the organ. Group of organ becomes the entire organism. It is because the cell structure is different, the entire organism structure is different. So can I say cell imparts structure to the organism? Similarly, अब भी हमने देखा functions of life. What are the functions of life? Growing, reproducing, metabolism, responsiveness to stimuli. ये होता किधर है? You tell the body, चलो अभी you grow, अभी grow होंगे. ऐसा है? The cell does it automatically. When the cells multiply, you will grow. In other words, all the functions of life takes place where? Inside the cell. So cell is called as functional unit. आई बात समझ में? So we call it as structural and functional. Similarly, structural and functional unit of element क्या होता है? It is called as atom. Atom में होता है protons, electrons, neutrons. It is because the atom structure is different, the entire structure of the element is different. Gold and silver दोनों same है क्या? At the atomic level, both are different. That is the reason पूरा का पूरा structure अलग-अलग है. And how reactive and non-reactive an element is depends on the atomic structure. तो वो react करेगा कि नहीं करेगा? जैसे acid, पकड़ लो हाथ में, पकड़ पाओगे? हाथ मेल्ट हो जाएगा पूरा. बट वही अगर प्लास्टिक बॉटल पकड़ सकते हो. सो एलिमेंट का फंक्शन डिपेंड्स ऑन द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द एटम. सो वी कॉल दिस एज स्ट्रक्चरल एंड फंक्शनल यूनिट. सिमिलरली इकोसिस्टम बिकम्स द स्ट्रक्चरल एंड फंक्शनल यूनिट ऑफ बायोस्फीयर. बायोस्फीयर का मतलब होता है द रीजन वेयर लाइफ इज फाउंड. अब आपके दिमाग में सोचो, इफ आई से द वर्ड एंटार्क्टिक इकोसिस्टम तो दिमाग में कौन से स्पीशीज आते हैं? पोलर बेयर और कैमल. तो कैमल कैसे आएगा? कैमल तो कहां आता है? डेजर्ट में. सो इन अदर वर्ड्स द लाइफ ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर रीजन डिपेंड्स ऑन द इकोसिस्टम. जैसा इकोसिस्टम वैसा आपको स्पीशीज, वैसा आपको लाइफ. पानी के अंदर हाथी नहीं बोल सकते ना सर. हाथी कहां मिलेगा? यू विल फाइंड इट इन ग्रासलैंड, यू विल फाइंड इट इन फॉरेस्ट. यस और नो? सो जैसा इकोसिस्टम वैसा वहां का life. Hence we say ecosystem becomes a structural and functional unit of biosphere. Now you got it? First statement समझा है? Now say this is your water. Water के अंदर पानी, पेड़ वगैरह, सॉरी प्लांट्स वगैरह होंगे. Yes or no? The aquatic vegetation is called as, इनको बोला जाता है, आज से याद रखो, फाइटोप्लैंक्टन. क्या बोलेंगे इसको? फाइटोप्लैंक्टन्स. अंडरस्टूड? यू विल फाइंड स्मॉल फिशेस. यस और नो? यू विल फाइंड बिग फिश, यू विल फाइंड लार्ज फिश. अंडरस्टूड? ओके. सो नाउ यू सी दिस इज योर एक्वेटिक इकोसिस्टम. यस और नो? फर्स्ट लाइन समझा? कंसिस्टिंग ऑफ, क्या कंसिस्ट करता है? Only one type of phytoplanktons or multiple type? Multiple type मतलब multiple species, different species living together. Community. Can I call this as community one? You will find small fish, only one type or multiple type? So becomes your community. You will find big fish, one type or multiple type? Multiple type becomes community 3, and finally large fish becomes your community. Now read the definition. Consisting of living beings. कहां पे पाए जाते हैं? पानी में. पानी becomes there. सेकेंड लाइन समझा? थर्ड, consisting of different communities and living beings, both interacting and exchange. Now don't get confused. Interaction मतलब in human terms, मैं अगर आपसे बात कर रहा हूं तो हो गया interaction. ये interaction. Small fish will eat the phytoplankton. Big fish will eat the small fish, large fish will eat the big fish. This is also called as interaction. Now why they are interacting with one another? अभी इसको खाएगा तो बोलेगा खा ले मेरे को, नहीं वो भागेगा. So that is called as interaction, right? Why they are eating one another? To survive. In other words, for food. Food, in other words, for. And this energy comes from food, in other words, nutrients. So what materials are getting exchanged? The nutrients and the energy. Understood? Now read the definition as a whole. Ecosystem is defined as structural and functional unit of biosphere consisting of communities of living beings and their both. What is the material that is getting exchanged? Energy and the nutrients. अब देखते हैं ये दूसरे इकोसिस्टम में अप्लाई होता है कि नहीं. तो by this we understood one thing, that ecosystem are of two types. One, inside the water, we call this as, if there is aquatic ecosystem, there has to be on land, we call it as terrestrial ecosystem. So ecosystem are of two types. Aquatic जो पानी के अंदर है, land पे है, we call it as terrestrial. Give me example for terrestrial ecosystem. Forest or desert or, see whether it satisfies the definition of not. Forest, structural and functional unit of biosphere, मतलब जैसा forest वैसे species consisting of different communities. Forest में एक ही tree मिलेगा एक ही प्रकार का, multiple species, so different communities living together, right? Plus you find animals only one type, you find birds only one type, so communities of living beings and their physical environment. There will be certain temperature of the forest, there will be certain rainfall of the forest, there will be certain soil type of the forest. ये क्या बन गया इसका? Physical environment. Both interacting and exchanging. Herbivorous will eat the plants, carnivorous will eat the herbivorous, so there is exchanging of materials taking place. Satisfies the definition, so forest becomes a ecosystem. अब मुझे बताओ aquatic का types. Example, पानी दो प्रकार का है ना? Absolutely. Freshwater ecosystem, saline water, or we call it as marine water ecosystem. One more. Fresh water meeting the saline water. River meets the sea. Brackish, we call this as estuary. Understood? Delta, creeks, bays, brackish water ecosystem becomes your estuary. Examples of estuary. Understood? Khadi, Washi Creek is an example of estuary. Correct? So two types of ecosystem, terrestrial and aquatic. Terrestrial, forest, grassland, desert. Aquatic, freshwater, saline water, estuary. Once again, what is the definition of ecosystem, guys? Ecosystem, structural and functional unit of biosphere. जिसमें क्या होता है? एक कम्युनिटी और मल्टीपल कम्युनिटीज, डिफरेंट कम्युनिटीज ऑफ लिविंग बींग्स. कहां पे? उनका एक फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट एंड देयर फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट, बोथ interacting and exchanging material. What material are getting exchanged? Two types. Terrestrial, aquatic, estuary. That is your ecosystem. Understood? Clear? So ecosystem definition, then the types. लिखोगे? When I say you to write, what does this imply? This implies that have a look once and try to write without saying. Understood? If you are stuck, then only raise your head. ऐसे क्या होगा? ऐसे करने से आपका attention, concentration and writing will be in sync. करो. क्या होता है? क्या? नहीं समझ में. फाइटोप्लैंक्टन पूछ रहे हो? ज़ूप्लैंक्टन क्या होता है? वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन आस्क. देखो, फाइटोप्लैंक्टन क्या होता है? ये वो माइक्रोस्कोपिक ऑर्गेनिजम्स या एक्वेटिक वेजिटेशन होते हैं जो खाना खुद बनाते हैं. बट उसके अलावा देयर आर स्मॉल माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स आल्सो. These small microorganisms are referred to as zooplankton, जो खुद खाना नहीं बनाते बट दूसरे का खाना ले लेते हैं. For example, diatoms, dinoflagellates. ये क्या है? These are microscopic organisms found in the aquatic ecosystem. आपको लगेगा पानी बहुत अच्छा है, मैंने लेक से रिवर से भरा है, इसमें कुछ भी नहीं, साफ दिख रहा है. बट अगर आप माइक्रोस्कोपिकली दिखोगे, इसमें ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स दिखेंगे, एंड दैट इज योर जू प्लैंक्टन. आई बात समझ में? सो फाइटोप्लैंक्टन, जू प्लैंक्टन. वो जब एक्वेटिक इकोसिस्टम देखेंगे तब आप डिटेल में देखेंगे जू प्लैंक्टन का इमेज वगैरह सब, डायटम्स, डायनोफ्लेजिलेट्स के. Write down the definition, please. Done? All right. See now, structural and functional unit of biosphere consisting of different communities of living beings and their physical environment. वापस physical environment आ गया. So when a physical environment comes into play, environment consists of two parts. What is that? Biotic and abiotic. Biotic means living, abiotic means non-living. Give me examples of abiotic. Light, temperature, water, soil. Okay, consider the above factors. क्वेश्चन इज विच ऑफ द अबव डज नॉट फॉर्म द अबायोटिक फैक्टर ऑफ एन एनवायरमेंट? इसमें से कौन से अबायोटिक फैक्टर नहीं है? कौन से फैक्टर नहीं है? लाइट है? लाइट नहीं? टेम्परेचर है ना, ठंडी गर्म लगता है। वाटर, सॉइल, व्हाट अबाउट लैटिट्यूड? नहीं है ना, एब्सोल्युटली। व्हाट अबाउट एल्टीट्यूड? नहीं, नहीं भी नहीं। ओके, लैटिट्यूड क्या होता है? इमेजिनरी लाइंस ड्रॉन हॉरिजॉन्टली और वर्टिकली, मतलब कहना है दिस इज पैरेलल्स ऑफ इक्वेटर। यहाँ पे 0 है तो यहाँ पे आपका 90 डिग्री। व्हाट विल हैपन इफ यू चेंज द लैटिट्यूड फ्रॉम 0 to 90? 0 से अगर 90 की तरफ जाओगे मतलब कहाँ पहुंचोगे? पोल्स पे। पोल्स पे क्या होगा? टेम्परेचर बहुत ज्यादा है, बहुत कम है? बर्फ है ना, तो कम है ना। टेम्परेचर बहुत कम है ना 90 पे, मतलब बाय चेंजिंग द ऑल्टीट्यूड टेम्परेचर चेंजेस। सो लैटिट्यूड इज अ अबायोटिक फैक्टर और नो? अगर टेम्परेचर अबायोटिक फैक्टर है तो लैटिट्यूड के बदलने से अगर टेम्परेचर में बदलाव होता है तो लैटिट्यूड भी क्या हो गया? इट्स एन अबायोटिक फैक्टर। व्हाट अबाउट ऑल्टीट्यूड? ऑल्टीट्यूड मतलब इंक्रीज फ्रॉम द मीन सी लेवल। यहाँ पे आपको थोड़ी सी गर्मी लग रही है ना, वही अगर आप माउंट एवरेस्ट के ऊपर चले जाओ, altitude change, temperature changes. So is altitude an abiotic factor? Absolutely yes. UPSC 2013 trick question. आपकी जैसी लैटिट्यूड फेल, 2 मार्क गया हाथ का। आई बात समझ में? सो थिंक दैट वे अराउंड। आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड दिस। बायोटिक फैक्टर इंक्लूड्स, तो कैन आई कैटेगराइज इट टू इंपॉर्टेंट कैटेगरीज? देखो, बायोटिक थिंग में 2 चीजें, एक तो है प्रोड्यूसर। If there is a producer, there has to be a director. Yes, बोल रहे हो। डायरेक्टर कहां से? कंज्यूमर। अंडरस्टूड दिस? There is producer, there has to be consumer. Producer are nothing but also referred to as autotrophs because they produce their own food. इसीलिए इनको प्राइमरी प्रोड्यूसर भी बोला ना। प्लांट्स, ग्रीन प्लांट्स, algae, they are called as autotrophs. कंज्यूमर 2 प्रकार के हैं, कौन कौन से? We have large macro consumer, small micro consumers. Those organisms that are dependent on plants or primary producer for their food are called as herbivorous animals. They are called as herbivores, also referred to as primary consumers. Animals that are dependent on herbivores for their food, carnivores. They are called as carnivores or secondary consumers. Understood? Those organisms which are dependent on carnivores for their food, they are called as top carnivores. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल प्लांट है, ट्री है, बराबर है, उसको किसने खाया? एलिफेंट ने खाया। अंडरस्टूड? एलिफेंट को किसने खाया? देयर इज अ स्पीशीज कॉल्ड एज से चीता और लेट्स से लेपर्ड और फॉर दैट मैटर हाइना। हाइना व्हिच इज द लाफिंग एनिमल? एनिमल दैट लाफ्स, है ना? श्योर? सुना है हमने, बराबर सुना है। प्लीज रिमेम्बर, इट्स द एनिमल दैट लाफ्स। हंसता रहता है? नहीं, इट द फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन एंड द साउंड दैट इट मेक्स, इट अज्यूम्स दैट और वी परसीव दैट इट इज laughing on us, but it is highly carnivorous. Understood? बहुत डेंजरस होते हैं, they attack in groups. Understood? Even 4 or 5 hyenas can even kill a lion or a tiger. Understood? So next time if you see hyena, don't assume that it's laughing on you, it definitely eat you. Understood those? Clear? तो ये ऐसा हुआ था। There's a national park called as Yellowstone National Park. सुना है? Have you seen the movie 2012? ये भी नहीं देखी? राधे देखी? राधे फर्स्ट डे फर्स्ट शो? हाँ, वेरी गुड। That was sarcasm by the way. 2012 movie which showed that that's the end of the world. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे ये मूवी है, इसमें ये दिखाया था दैट दीस पीपल दे गो टू द येलोस्टोन नेशनल पार्क, और जहां से पूरा इवेंट ट्रिगर होता है। तो ये जो येलोस्टोन नेशनल पार्क है इज इन यूएसए। वहां पे एक बच्चा खेलने गया था फैमिली के साथ, तो ही जस्ट वैंडर अराउंड, एनकाउंटर्ड विद हाइना। सो इट अज्यूम दैट इट इज लाफिंग एंड ही वेंट देयर, हाइना लेके चला गया उसको। आई बात समझ में? सो बेसिकली हाइना इज मोर डेंजरस, बट हाइनास कैन ऑल्सो बी ईटन अप बाय लायन और टाइगर। तो लायन टाइगर कहाँ गए? टॉप कार्निवोर्स। Now you understood? But there's a special category of organisms which are dependent on both plants and animals for their food. Now they are called as omnivores. So we human come under the category of omnivores. आई बात समझ? omnivores में भालू, bear, bear also comes under this particular, grizzly bear, this also comes under the category of omnivores. पेड़ भी चलता है, आदमी भी चलता है, मतलब in the sense animals भी चलते हैं। I hope you got it. Coming to micro consumer, those organisms, those microorganisms that are dependent on dead plants and animals for the food. They are called as saprophytes. Those organisms that are dependent on both, on dead plants and animals for their food. Those microorganisms that are dependent on living and plants and animals for their food are called as virus, parasite, bacteria, certain bacteria, parasite, saprophytes, फंगस, फंगाई। ठीक है, जैसे अपने ये प्लांट तो खाया होगा, मशरूम प्लांट खाया आप लोगों ने? मशरूम प्लांट खाया कि नहीं खाया? सब्जी खाई कि नहीं मशरूम की? प्लांट है ना वो? प्लीज रिमेंबर, इट्स नॉट अ प्लांट, इट्स अ फंगस। अंडरस्टूड? मशरूम इज अ फंगस। क्लियर विद दिस? सो दैट इज अ सैप्रोफाइट दैट वी आर ईटिंग। आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड दिस। इसके लिए आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन चाहिए? आई थिंक दिस फ्लो चार्ट इज सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी, जस्ट ड्रॉ दिस फ्लो चार्ट प्रॉपर्ली, दैट इज योर इकोसिस्टम। So watch some documentaries, watch some movies which will inspire you. Understood? राधे वाधे देख के कुछ नहीं होने वाला बना। Clear? Have you seen a movie called as Ganga Jal? Ajay Devgan wali? No, he is an IPS officer over there. Watch that kind of movie, which will show you what power it is. Have you seen Sarfarosh? Amir Khan? पुरानी मूवी है काफी, देखो, you'll understand what is a power of a collector or IPS officer. करते क्या हो फिर आप लोग? वो कोरियन वाला क्या है वो? टीबीएस, टीबी, के टाउन, डी टाउन, क्या है वो? ये सब मत करो। Always see documentaries and videos which will increase your value addition. I hope I made myself very clear. Very good. Quickly go through it, revise. See, as of now, environment के लिए आपको जो पढ़ना है ना, तो you environment do not have any separate book as far as NCERT is concerned. ज्योग्राफी का एनसीईआरटी में लास्ट के एक दो पेजेस आपको, एक दो चैप्टर्स आपको एनवायरमेंट के मिलेंगे. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, इफ यू आर फ्रॉम आईसीएससी, आईसीएससी का सेपरेट बुक आता है 9th-10th का एनवायरमेंट का, वो पढ़ सकते हो. दिस वन रेफरेंस बुक दैट एवरीवन फॉलोज. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल पॉलिटी के लिए एक ही बुक पढ़ना है, लक्ष्मीकांत. सिमिलरली वी हैव वन बुक फॉर एनवायरमेंट, दैट इज एनवायरमेंट बाय शंकर आईएएस एकेडमी. बट अगेन अभी इनिशियली मत लो, क्योंकि उसमें काफी रिडंडेंट डेटा है, देख के नींद आएगी. तो पहले फॉलो क्लास नोट्स एंड दोस बेसिक बुक्स. वंस यू आर डन विद दैट, एंड देन यू कैन गो अहेड विद द रेफरेंस. ऑलराइट, I hope everyone understood this. Okay, close down the books quickly. Let's just revise. What is ecology? Ecology, scientific study of the relationship between organism and its environment. Three important keywords. What is environment? Everything that surrounds the organism, which includes both biotic and abiotic factors. In other words, environment can be defined as sum total of their influences and events. Their influences and events. Levels of ecological organization. Biomes and biosphere. Individual is defined as living organism that has the ability to act or function. Group or population of the same species. Two factors that increases the population are decrease are emigration. Community, group of population of ecosystem, in simple words, community and its environment. In other words, environment ecosystem can be defined as consisting of and their physical environment, both between them. What are the material that is getting exchanged? Energy and the nutrients. I hope everyone understood this. Any doubts so far? So make sure you revise whatever has been taught. And ये सब्जेक्ट काफी आसान है, ऐसा नहीं कि आपको बहुत सारा इसमें concepts वगैरह पढ़ के दिमाग का दही करके पढ़ना है. नहीं सर, it's very easy. Remember, cost to benefit ratio is extremely high over here. कम मेहनत ज्यादा output. So we will try and cover up this particular subject in the class itself. Meaning, by as we progress ahead and we are in the last leg of this particular chapter or subject, आपका पहले का सारा रिवीजन हो चुका होना चाहिए. So simultaneously we'll study this particular subject. I hope you understood this. Any doubts? So we'll stop it here for the day. We'll go to the next class. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Absolutely. इसके आगे का कंटिन्यू होगा. Yeah.